Here are your Court News Ohio top stories in 5 minutes. The Ohio Supreme Court ruled that the city of Cincinnati did not act in good faith when it delayed releasing body cam footage of police officers using tasers to subdue 2 men during an August 2017 arrest. In a unanimous decision, the Supreme Court denied a Cincinnati Enquirer request forcing the city to turn over 19 videos because the city provided redacted copies 17 days after the request was filed. However, the court ruled the Enquirer is entitled to have its attorney fees and court costs paid by the city, citing a 2016 public records law. The city initially refused to provide the videos, stating the footage was exempt under the confidential law enforcement investigatory records exception to the state public records law. Writing for the court, Justice Patrick Fisher stated the city's position, quote, raises a question of whether the city even reviewed the videos before asserting that exception, end quote. In Judge John Oldham's courtroom, there's no shortage of pleasantries.
Good morning.
Or positivity. On the Akron Municipal Court bench since 2015, he's spent nearly 4 years doing what he can to change lives in recovery court.
I can educate myself as much as possible. I can be as passionate as possible. But at the end of the day, I don't know what it's like to suffer from the disease of addiction.
One of his former participants knows that struggle all too well. Shackled by a decade-long battle with substance use, luck was on Marie Berger-Rutter's side the day she overdosed.
That was the most terrifying experience I ever went through in my life.
4 years sober, Marie remains a regular in court, not as a participant, but as a coach.
When I first meet the clients, I always say, you know, look, right there's my certificate. I graduated from this program. I understand what it's like to go through this process.
It's a program with more than 1,000 graduates since its inception in 1995. But even with all those successes come setbacks.
Recovery isn't perfect. You know, people fall short sometimes. And for them to know that no matter what they do, somebody's always going to be there to support them and not judge them.
Marie's love for her work and serving others continues to grow. She's employed by Oriana House, a nationally renowned community corrections and chemical dependency treatment agency. Her office is inside a renovated church. It's the same place she found hope and the setting where she helps people find salvation.
I've worked really hard in my recovery, because I feel like there's a lot of people that I would let down if I didn't make it. And the longer I stay sober, the list of people gets longer.
No matter where you look around or inside the Ohio State House, you're surrounded by history and those who shaped it. In the building's atrium, a group of ladies shared their stories.
That if you haven't fought with everything inside of you to get here today, we could be gathering for your funeral.
9 women opening up about the darkest years of their lives served as inspiration to hundreds of other people there to celebrate these survivors who graduated from the state's first human trafficking court.
Catch court saved my life. I didn't have a light until they shined theirs on me so I could find mine.
Previously separated from their families and isolated from society, graduates of the Franklin County Municipal Court Program, which stands for Changing Actions That Change Habits, were once again with loved ones. Among them were mothers, daughters, and sisters expressing their gratitude to Judge Paul Herbert and his staff for their care and compassion.
They've given me the greatest gift they could ever have given in my life. They have given me my sister back, and forever I will be grateful to Catch Court.
For a group of women who struggled to smile when they started the specialized docket, they're now a source of promise and happiness for those they've impacted.
It is hope that someone who has spent over half of her life and 37 consecutive years on the street can rebuild her legacy.
I want you to know that I remember a time when we were too busy trying to numb out our pain and trauma to ever believe that there was something better waiting on us.
As the program's 9th graduating class transitions to the next chapter of their lives, they're pushing peers and others in need of help toward their own freedom.
Don't ever give up and don't discourage yourself, because great things happen here.
And that's a look at Court News Ohio's top stories. Visit courtnewsohio.gov for the latest headlines on Ohio's courts. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.